Alrighty, this is my wall around here. If you want to know, that's actually PVC sheet. It's a bizarre decision I made when I was fixing this place up because I didn't want anything that could build up any heat over the summer, but I was yet to understand the full ramifications of thermal expansion at that point in time. Having said that, regardless of the odd piece like this end bit that's just really turning to shit, a lot of it is not too bad. It was put on a cool autumn day that had rain clouds that actually started raining at the end of the day. And in the summer it looks really warped, but yeah. Anyway, cost $850. I have tried to get PVC weatherboards, and there's some good ones. And I've talked to this place a couple of times at building trade expos. I've even seen them in supermarket malls trying to sell these PVC weatherboards. And, you know, ran by Indians, do you think you can get a straightforward fucking explanation? No way. They are smart enough not to have stuffed up with thermal expansion. Different plastic has different thermal expansion rates, and I think even the quality of it may have something to do with thermal expansion. But they have weatherboards that are basically like 3 weatherboards in one, and then you've got a little piece that's like not a hole for where you put your screw, but actually a slot, and you put the screw in but not super tight, and it can sort of maneuver, you know, firm enough, but just sort of, you know, hand tight with a screwdriver, so it can sort of move up and down with thermal expansion. And of course where your screw goes, your next one underneath it or above it will hide where the screw is. And you know, I've got a sample of the stuff and everything, or I did have anyway. And what's the price per linear meter? Like, I know it's 3 weatherboards, never mind how tall the 3 weatherboards are, I can measure that myself, you know, and she was easy to see. What's the length per linear meter? Because I've already, you know, got the height worked out. Oh, holy cow, do you think you could get a fucking answer out of it? Fucking hell. You know, you really wouldn't know some people are trying to run a business and want to make money in this country. Even a certain person from Fairy Meadow noticed that our idea of capitalism is a bit screwed up. You know, you wouldn't know they're in it for a profit. I couldn't get a straight answer. Oh, well, you know, originally at the trade show, they'd be willing to sell it to you without a problem. In the shopping mall, we've got contractors that can put it up. Oh, I can do it myself, I think. You know, building industry on and off for years. And, oh, well, we prefer people use their contractors. I said, so what is it cost-wise per length? And she said, yeah, I can buy it myself and try and get a linear meter cost. No, not a hope. You got to measure your wall up and ring one of our guys who we like to put it up. Well, you know, they're in the capital. You think they've got to come out here? They can't even find this bloody place, let alone get the vehicle up some of the bloody hills around here, you know. Just forget it. They wouldn't come out here for a thing this small. Anyways, they can burn their customers as much as they want. But I've been thinking a little bit about this. If I whack one along there, which I can, and I'm probably going to get rid of that bit of that expansion foam and probably a couple of these higher up screws. If I whack one across there, am I then going to run a pipe right the way around and out the back? No, that's sort of a bit stupid. I was looking at this going, holy smoke, I should put one along here because we've got extra length on the veranda. It's some rosellas, I think. And I thought, well, we've got extra length of this veranda here, you know, and there's more roof space as a result. I could whack one along here and then put it into the water tank. Now, the water tank, like that's my solar panels through there. And the water tank is... Hang on a minute. Ah, yes, see that little line there? That's the overflow for the water tank, right there, when it gets too full. And as I was saying, it flows out underneath the box thorns. I was thinking now we should do another gutter here. A big heap of this rose bush is actually held up. You see that line right there? goes behind their old original gutter, which is rotten away, and it holds a lot of this bulk here. So I'm going to have to do something to hold that up, otherwise it's all just going to collapse. Let's face it, seriously, we need a good prune around here. And I could get rid of the old gutter here and put another one. I can't really get it past this, so what? At least I can do here. And then feed it in the tank, and I was looking at this going, yeah, maybe the tank, we might be running it fine, we might be a couple of inches too short. And then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, dickhead, get that piece, which is obviously a lot higher up, like, I can touch this, you know, that's about, oh, shit, almost forehead height, eyes height. That there is, honestly, it was 6.5 foot. Why don't I get this piece and drop a pipe wherever, preferably single piece, to do what my parents have done with their guttering, where the pipe holds water all the time, and it's almost like a level thing. It'll empty out in the pipe at the level of where it lets out. So as more rain pours in this end, it goes through the pipe and comes out that end. And if you're a smart enough cookie and you can get it sealed well enough, you can actually put a bung on there and it will collect any of the dirt and shit in the bottom of it, and then once a year, after winter, you undo it and you let all your dirty water out. It almost acts like a grease trap. And my parents' one has been set up like that. And every year they undo the pipe and woof, and any dirt off the roof doesn't end up really getting in your tank. So that's what I'll probably do, is try and set up one there and run it in the tank here, and this one here, work out how to run it back around that way, or maybe even shoot around through the front. It'll probably be best this way. And yeah, put on 2 lots of guttering as a result. Good thing about this is I reckon I've got enough overhang to use this box gutter with this one. Now the overhang is just frickin' ridiculous there. I mean, that's probably the shortest amount of A. It's probably even shorter than the other side of the house that I've just done. So I have to use the other guttering for that, but if I want, I can use the box gutter for this stuff, I reckon. And it's going to take a little bit of pulling a few. Oh shit, that ain't going to take much to come down. But I want to try and do something with this rose without destroying it completely. Anyway, I've got to go out in a little while. And on that, maybe one of the best things to do is start pruning this frickin' rose. And might fiddle around with string line. I don't really need to, because I've been measuring this and I've worked out, I think the fall on this one is back towards this way. Look here. There you go. Oh, there you go. Now, if I'm not incorrect, yeah. There's a slight amount of fall to the left there, and if the fall was to the right, the bubble would go that way. Yeah, so it's not quite enough to just put the gutter level with it, but it's the fall goes to the left, which means that the downpipe will be on this end, and then we work out crap from there. I can't really just have a bloody 3/4 inch line. I think the minimum I'll be restricted to is a 2-inch line to run from there back through. And according to the standards, that ain't exactly even right either. But then again, I'm only required to fix this up to the standard of the day, which was no bloody standard, which is one of the beauties of working with these, because you try and do pretty well, but you're not actually required to, because you only have to fix it up to the standard of the day. And the size of the framing isn't up to standard in this place, but that's the way it was built, and that was the standard of the day, and that's all you have to sort of jump to. come to new houses, you don't have to have a 5-star energy efficiency rating, you have to have a 6-star energy efficiency rating. And even some people that decide to put another 2 or 3 rooms on the end of their house then end up getting into that shitstorm of having to redo the entire house 6-star energy rated. Which means, you know, sometimes solar hot water system on the roof, insulation in walls that haven't been touched for donkey's ages, and, you know, all these other things they didn't really want to do initially, that it would just explode the cost out to double and the time of rebuilding to 3-fold what it was going to be. But anyway, I might get on and prune this little baby. Custom made from head to toe. That's right, if you can actually see that. Swiss made. $120 pair, and that's not an exaggeration. This is what they use professionally, obviously, at the vineyards. Rolling handle. Only dickheads have ones that aren't rolling handles when you use them for friggin' 7.5 hours a day. You need that rolling handle, otherwise you will build up callus. They got a knockoff copy made by Asco, I think it is, $40, and it's identical to the point you can actually change the bloody parts of an Asco into one of these. Anyways, got a fair bit there. Some of these are just pretty long, I'd say. What's that, bloody 1, 2, 3? Holy smoke, it's more than 7 foot long. Which means it should be taller than me. Yep, be about 7'3", I reckon. Anyways, you know, they grow pretty good, and the only pruning I've done on that is about 2010, and I believe all I've done was just cut this off. Well, yeah, maybe I did cut that piece off there, but it turns out that that ain't doing much anyway. Yeah, well, that might be going on the wood stove. I don't know what will happen to the rest of it. How's that? That used to be sitting there, and it was up high, it was up about here, and I thought, just give it a cut off. And I didn't expect anything to happen. I thought it was all dead. It hadn't done anything for years since my uncle had been here, and all of a sudden, after just giving a little trim with a chainsaw, the bastard went friggin' berserk. And all this growth come out, and I mean, he'd never had any of this growth, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff just fired up and done all that. Now, it would have been one of these. There's still other bits here that are still... So what's basically happened is somehow it's all just about gone dormant, but the roots have remained alive, and on she goes. I don't know. Holy smoke, there's still bits of plaster in that bucket. Yeah. Legacy of bloody plastic bags. It's like that continuously under the box thorns. That's that little flashing I made at the front part of the house, obviously. All this shit. This is a jasmine bush. That was tangled right through to here, which is under the bottom. And I've actually, I think my mum's got it, a photo of the old dude back in the Depression sitting in that doorway there. And all this here, all the netting, was all covered in roses and other things like this which tend to creep. And that's what made me realise that it was that door, just the placement of the netting and all that, and that was when the veranda went right the way around. But this little turd here, I think maybe actually going underneath the roof sheet, so got to get in and investigate that rather. It's a bit of plastic lattice there, and that used to initially have this on it, but since I've been here, this has gone. I mean, it didn't even reach over. Well, it sort of reached up to the bottom of this gutter, but it never gone over the roof like that since I've been here. There was a tree rubbing on the edge of that up there, which was one of the ones behind the solar panels that's been cut off to ground level, and this was the little baby that I kept that's hanging onto my downpipe. Still hanging onto my downpipe. Anyway, this is where the sheep bowl through all the time. This used to be so open it was just easy to walk through. Not anymore. Oh, I'm getting stabbed. Oh. That would be the downpipe I was saying about, and here's the actual tank. Don't know if my uncle put this here or it was actually here from day one, or this is just like a one that's sort of been a seedling from one of the other ones that was planted years ago. And, oh, well, there we go there. It's our base in there. Yeah, we might be, I'll just prune the bar stuff straight through here or something. It'll all re-sprout back anyway. So it'll probably get a bit of runoff from the edge of the roof in there. Oh, bugger these box on. Oh, there's me tips. Yeah, and come off. I think the runoff just comes off here and wouldn't get too much, but yeah, originally I put that downpipe on, so originally it's probably getting watered from all the overflow of this tank here, but anyway. Here's my best Siberian kale so far, or Russian kale. Anyway, I better go searching for that one under the roof sheet. Just thought I'd check the level of the tank here. There's my downpipe that comes out from... I realised it needed to... Probably wasn't best to be laying on here because it might start to rust it, so I just sort of propped her all up on a little off cap. Bang. 75mm line, 3-inch, which has sort of been pretty much phased out altogether a few years ago. I thought I'd better check the level of the tank. And I don't think you guys can see it. I can see it quite well. Oh, there it is. Yeah. She's about 5 inches off completely full, and this is half the size of an IBC. Now, never mind rehydrating all them over there, another bunch around the in with the other silver beet. You know, it doesn't seem to have much of an effect on this. And I've been using this. I thought I just about ran it out, using it for watering plants in the summer, but that little 35mm rain obviously done a fair bit of good. If she's literally only down about here somewhere. And it's times like this I look at this thing and think, yeah, I could be using this rainwater for a lot more if we're only, you know, if we're like here and the overflow's right there, you know. I did consider getting a, what's his name? Another tank for this because of the leaves in this. It may just be simply a case of using a bloody filter. You can get these inline filters that you can hook on a water line that's sort of like a sock shape one, and I might, I could get one of those. It really speaking, the pump I've got, I'd need a different outlet, but yeah, I'll be using this anyway for filling those IBCs down there, and hey, maybe it's time to fiddle around with well, just get a smaller pump, or that flaming other one that I've already got, a submersible, and use that in a tub or something that has a ball float like a sheep trough, or like the toilet systems do, running off of this with a filter, and actually use this for me washing and sort of conserve the amount of water brought in. Oh, that was a smart move. This is the one that comes up through, and yeah, see that beam there that goes back out to the barge board or whatever you want to call it. It's going right up in between the roof sheet and that beam. Not very far, because it cooked itself to death in the summer heat. So it was real intelligent, jammed in a tight spot, tried to put a few shoots out, and ultimately just got so hot it just dried out and died. Here's the main bunch, and we've got this strange little one running along here, which may explain the stuff I just grabbed before. It goes right in between two sheets and keeps going. It's just weird. Well, everything else just goes straight upwards. Anyway, I cut all that off there. I think I'll be untangling some shit. Oh, groovy. Just got myself another pot. There you go. Throw that through the other ones next to the water tank. Jeez, I've got to try and get up and heave this off now. That's I just cut it. Yeah. Yeah, I've strung her out a bit. She's taken a bit of getting off. I don't know if all the yous recognise what plant this is. I've just foiled another commercial opportunity I could have had. Just like the old boxthorn here with the goji berry. I've just destroyed another chance at being productive, or at least a chance at making jasmine tea. Now, I don't expect everybody to know what jasmine tea is, although a fair few of my viewers probably would. If you're of Asian descent, you'll know exactly what jasmine tea is, and this is, or was, a jasmine bush. Looks like it was getting closer to throwing all the little flowers out. Anyway, for the sake of getting on with the guttering and not doing something which I knew I wouldn't do anyway, like turn this into jasmine tea, yeah, we shall continue on. I may snip a few little leaves off just for the purpose of playing around, but I ain't going to need this, which is mainly just old dead shit anyway. Well, actually, a lot of it's green on top, but a lot of the stuff that's underneath is actually all just dried out and dead. Of course, the stuff that's closest to the roof is previous year's stuff, and the new stuff has sort of climbed over the top of the older stuff. Anyway, I better go in there and chop, because we ain't planning on getting anywhere pulling this bloody great big tangle. Like I was saying, when I done that cover there, the ridge capping, I didn't quite get to the end because I couldn't, and that may account for a few of the troubles as it goes underneath the flipping roof sheets there. Also, it turns out I've got this gangly bit of wire, and I hit the bloody thing with a secateurs, didn't I? Fantastic. It's getting a bit dark, in case you don't realise, and getting a little bit hard to see brown stems from bloody bits of wire. Let's get that out. And also, glorious bit of 4x2 that's... Oh yeah, he's put that there. This hasn't been here long at all, as I suspected, because my uncle's got a bit of 4x2 and the ubiquitous baling twine and the ubiquitous number 8 fencing wire, or some kind of fencing wire. Yeah. So he's put that there with the lattice that's collapsed to try and get it to grow, and grow it has. Anyway, that's opened things up a little bit. All we need to do is get rid of the friggin' box lawns. Yeah, I'll probably be pulling that off. Ooh, yeah. Need to go and untangle the shit underneath there. A bit of wood that shouldn't be there. Yeah. Got it held on by fencing wire. I might just try and clean up inside and get the broom and fiddle around and get rid of a few of these bits and pieces, and got to do a bit of mucking around on the computer, and I think I'll just call it a day after that. Now it's making sense how this thing's grown so well this year. You can see the little stalks there that I've pruned. Well, the guttering organ there comes right back to the end, and it's just open and pours straight onto the jasmine plant that I just chopped up. So it was getting more than just a little bit on the edge there, it was getting pretty much that whole section there. Not a great ton, but more than I initially thought, which could explain why it's green and everything else was pretty much looking like shit.